Right, so it's me again in a car. So as you can see, I always start this video on the way kung saan man ako pupunta, and it's the usual traffic. I'm doing this video in December. Hindi ko alam kung kailan to ulit lalabas, but anywho, I'm headed towards the house of Raffy Tesoros, a very good friend of mine who's been my production designer, or well, he's not that active anymore, but he has been my production designer for the past 10 years or more. So we've been producing a lot of shoots, a lot of cosplay shoots, work shoots together, and over the years we have come up with a series of creativity exercises that we'd love to share with you guys. And ayun, so this will be the start of a few more videos. So bahala na kung ano man yung pag-usapan namin ni Raffy. Usually kabalbalan lang yan. So watch for that. Oh look, it's Archer, the doggy. So this is Raffy's dog, Archer, who likes to smell but doesn't want to get touched. Archer, come up. Come up, Archer. So there's Raffy. What a way to start our conversations.
Yeah. I'm working here.
What are you working on?
And internet here is just glacial, dude.
So this is Raffy being busy doing work before we start the crap that we're supposed to be talking about.
Every time I start a video with you, it seems like the beginning of a amateur porn vid. I have no idea why.
Yeah, it's really gone.
It's really gone. So I'm here with Raffy. Don't mind the noise because we're just shooting at his room. It's established na daan. There's so much the cars passing by. So ayun, it's better off than doing it in a dim sum shop where we actually do most of our discussions.
Yeah, I am working.
And Raffy's working, so he's working. Anyway, so as part of the video series, we're doing creativity exercises by today, or no, not today. Sorry, but by the time that you're seeing this, I would have several exercises already on the channel. But today we're gonna talk about one of the basic ones. What did you call that exercise? It's one of the first ones we did.
What, senses?
The census thing. Yes, there you go. So Raffy's better off explaining how the census exercises work.
All artists have to be in touch with their senses, basically. If you want to create, then you have to understand how the world works around you, and you take that in through your senses. So that's how it works out. Most people are actually just an audience in their own body.
Audience in their own body. That's a keyword.
Good.
So tell you guys, keyword, audience in their own body. I have a fourth wall kind of thing going on. Anyway, go.
So if you want to start creating stuff, then you have to start really understanding how your senses work.
Okay.
So what we usually do first is you identify your senses. So basically there are 5 basic senses. And that's the 5 basic senses, correct?
Okay.
But there are actually 22 or so.
Wow, alright.
So yeah, but you have to base it off the 5 first, because everybody has that. Not everybody has 22. And some people even have all 5, but they make up for it with other senses.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a deaf person can see better in a way because their eyes compensate, or
the ears compensate. Yeah.
the ear.
Sorry. Yeah. Sorry.
Well, a blind person can hear better.
Yes. Black. Yeah.
Apparently. So that's and of course their sense of touch is much more sensitive. So you have to kind of like understand how your body processes the information coming in from your senses. So use your 5 senses first.
Okay.
And then
5.
Ready?
Yes. You have to be visual.
Then that's the thing. There's a key word right there. It's visual.
So 80% of somebody's understanding of their environment is sight, and the rest of the 4 have to share on the remaining 20.
It's not even a sharing thing. It's more like about activation of sorts.
Okay.
We tend to not listen to the other senses.
Oh, all right. So we just rely so much on eyesight.
Yeah,
Basically.
pretty much. So
Alright.
you have to like identify yourself first on which sense. So like there are certain there's a lot of output is visual, but it's much more than that. There's texture, there's sound, there's taste, there's smell. Of course, you can't taste everything and you can't smell everything, but later on, you can understand how to assign a sensory input from another sense to things like that.
Okay.
Because if you're gonna create art, you're creating a world, then that means you have to involve all the senses, or it doesn't feel.
Much like the sets that we get to do back in the day, no?
Yeah.
So whenever we did stuff for his family grant Tesoros, when we do those campaigns, we come up with mood boards, and it's not just an ad, but an overall feeling of a world that you're in. So you're not just looking at the ad for the ad itself, but you're experiencing something.
Yeah. Basically. So how do you do that? So say take your sense of sight. You look at an apple. So describe in 3 words using only the sense of sight what an apple is.
Yeah. Okay.
So people would say red, shiny,
Round.
round. See, so you're looking at red color, shiny quality of light, round shape. So that's purely pretty much visual. Then move it along, and then you'd be like, how would an apple smell? So it'd be like sweet, sugary,
Fragrant.
fragrant, right?
Yeah.
So there you go. Then you move on to a harder sense in terms of the apple. How would an apple sound?
All right.
So like crunchy, crispy. Like
And
that.
by then, when you say harder, it's not something that you just see it offhand or experience there has to be an action behind it for something for you to experience that.
Well, yes, because even even looking at something is an action.
Oh, tama. Okay.
So, but we don't think it because it's just there. We're not touching it. We're not interacting with it in any other way. That's why eyesight makes you lazy in some ways because you're just looking.
Yeah.
You have to smell it, taste it, feel it, hear it. So, like that exercise, it's like, did you really listen to how an apple sounds? When you eat it? Or when you
Not exactly. You take it for granted.
Yeah, that's what we mean about the other senses. We take it for granted. But your animal or subconscious brain is the one that processes all this information.
Understood.
So it takes all of that into account regardless. It's just it just ends up being tossed in the garbage in some way because
Mental garbage.
Yeah, because you're not fully understanding the experience. That's why a lot of people don't seem to take away the full experience of whatever they're doing.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that's sensory identification. Like, okay, how would an apple feel? How would an apple taste? Then after that is sense switch. So you replace one sense with another. So if an apple is red, shiny, and round, if you switched it to the sense of touch, but using those keywords, what is shiny in the term? And how would you correlate shiny to touch?
Oh wow, that's a challenge. How do you describe the shininess of an apple using touch?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right. Even if we've been doing this for years, I'm still dumbfounded whenever things like that because it's not the usual thing. Like Raffy said, you replace senses. So like describing shininess to touch. So it's more like the open question that I get to ask in a lot of the workshops I give, whether Raffy's there or not, is how do you describe blue to a blind person? Similarly.
Yeah.
So sense switch and sense substitution. So in that case, blue is a very visual thing. So but people who get to see take the color blue for granted and all the other experiences around it. So, blue can therefore be how your other senses associate with sight. Am I getting that across? Yeah, more or less, right? So, when you talk of blue, what was your experience with the color blue? So, for some people it might be the smell of the beach, the feel of looking at the sky, the smell of water,
Yeah. Smell water.
Smell water.
Temperature of it. If it's cold.
Yeah, cool to the touch, exactly like river, like stream water, things like that.
There you go.
And when you get to hear that kind of water rushing down, so ayun.
And it becomes even more complicated, like the more adept you become at manipulating your senses. Like for example, that's just blue.
Yeah,
So how would you describe sky blue?
cobalt blue or whatever kind of blue.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that gets a lot more complicated. If
Like
you're
for me, like if you said aqua blue, aquamarine, that's more tropical. So I would say you're at the beach and feeling the
Tama.
sand
Alright,
and it's
yeah.
tropical water.
yeah,
But if it's like
sky blue,
sky blue,
then you would have been up in a mountain or something. Right?
well, that actually there is a correlation between temperature and color. So like the colder the temperature, the bluer the perception.
Tama naman, of course. I mean that follows with photography as well. Whenever
Yeah, we never actually, like put it together. We just assumed so. You know what I mean? So that there's the lack of control. Understanding fully what the senses do to you is the control.
Understood.
That's how it goes.
All right, so then that's basically your senses are nothing but filters that
It's your input.
it's your input. It processes all the experiences from the outside, mishmashed with your own experiences. Then that's how you make sense of things. So the exercises are meant to give you better control of why am I experiencing this? Why am I seeing this? How am I seeing this? So being self-aware and being mindful of how that process happens gives you better control over your creativity. Yeah. So it may seem all like at this point, which
Try it.
try it. You gotta try it. So try an exercise where you get to replace senses like smell for touch or taste for hearing, things like that. So how do you hear an apple? Mga ganon. So how to describe blue to a blind person, things like that. I know this is pretty much a straight up video. We'll try to pepper this more with a lot of visuals, but trust us, it's something we've been doing for years. It's the kind of creativity training that hones you, whether or not you're shooting or doing something else. And in Raffy's case, building sets, dressing people up, carpentry, design, and what have you, except for makeup, right?
I don't do makeup.
Yeah, he doesn't do makeup. He does everything else but, it's like he has done everything else but the deed.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Really, we were having such a nice, serious
And
conversation.
then it just goes to like that. So sorry, Raffy. It's with you. So the innuendo doesn't stop. But yes, thanks so much for listening into our random mental ramblings. We will be doing a lot more video workshops like this, giving you ideas and tips on how to fine-tune your creativity. So if you like this video, please click like, and then if you have questions of how we do this then comment below. And please don't forget to subscribe.
Well, if we do this again, I'm gonna be in New York. It's gonna be like on Skype or something.
But I mean, we're gonna be doing more content anyway before you go, right? So Raffy is here in Manila lang for a short while. He's basing himself in New York. So, ayun. So I'll try to catch more of this guy before he bolts out.
Yeah.